But he's just like Von, big heart. If he fucks you, you got a big heart. If you got $10 in this, me and you, he got 5. You know what I'm saying? That's how he move. But you don't want to see him though. He a demon.
I be quick to run up, let it pop. That's just the O in me. Rest in peace to Silk from Ada Park. That was the old of me.
You heard Von. Rest in peace to Silk. That was the old of me. Period.
I was in prison. My daddy like Von, cause my daddy, we from Ada. Von daddy from Ada Park. My daddy know him. My daddy was telling me about Von. I knew Von, but I never heard of his music. You know what I'm saying? I never listened to his music or nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was somebody doing God work, man. Von ass was the devil. That's a way to die, man. Your last thing you remember, your soul got took out. You went to the sky for punching them off. That's the dumbest shit ever, bro. You think that shit was worth it?
Some people believe life is a straight line. You're born, you live, you die. Others believe it's a cycle, one that repeats itself in ways we can't always explain. But what if destiny isn't just a concept? What if fate is written long before you take your first breath? October 28th, 1974. A boy is born, Walter Bennett, but not in a hospital, not under fluorescent lights or the watchful eyes of doctors, but at home, on silk sheets. His parents, deep in the streets. His future, already in motion. They call him Silk. Fast forward 30 years, another boy is born. This one looks just like the first. Same blood, same city, same streets, and, as time would tell, the same fate. Ada Park bred him, but the streets raised him. Silk wasn't just another name in Chicago. He was a presence, a force, a prodigy on the basketball court. They say he could have made it out, but the game of survival doesn't always play by the rules. He chose hoops over the streets, but the streets still chose him. They always do. He moved with discipline, learning early that trust is a liability. His stepfather, Big Reggie, a man whispered about in hushed tones, showed him the blueprint. Hustling wasn't just a way to make money, it was a way to live. After nearly a decade behind bars, Silk emerged not as a man looking for redemption, but as a man with a purpose. The black disciples welcomed him, and with them, he built an empire. Money flowed, the streets respected him, and his legend grew. Cars, women, power. Silk had it all. But with every rise, there's a shadow lurking, watching, waiting.
They mark their territory with bold symbols. They defend it with violence.
You should know that as soon as you join the gang, you know that one of these days you could get shot or killed.
This year in Chicago, more than 65 people have been killed in gang fights. But when 2 reputed gang members were accused of murdering 17-year-old basketball star Ben Wilson, new anger in this city rose about an old problem.
We pledge to abolish gang violence wherever it may exist.
It is clearly the time to strike.
Last week, Washington announced an offensive against street gangs. It includes hiring more policemen, enforcing the 10:30 p.m. curfew for juveniles, and trying juvenile suspects, like the 2 charged in Ben Wilson's murder, as adults.
July 31st, 2005, a Sunday. The kind of day that feels deceptively peaceful. Silk was outside the rink on 87th Street, a familiar place, a familiar feeling. But the thing about power is that it always comes at a cost, and debts in the streets are never forgotten. Word is, he had crossed the wrong man, took something that wasn't his, and in the game he played, there's only one way to settle that kind of debt: gunfire, chaos, the fall of a king. Silk was gone, his 7 children left without a father, his legacy sealed in blood. But this story was far from over. And the theory behind Silk's death is A, he was killed via a drive-by, or B, he was killed via a sniper, because they definitely used to snipe people from the towers back then.
Boundaries was just about everywhere because there was so many around here, and you can't walk across no boundaries. You can't just up and cross a boundary. You know what I mean? Everybody gotta know, you gotta know who and what way to walk. Because you come across a boundary, they're gonna lead you there. Back then, gangs didn't play. You move, you lose. That's the gang rule, just that simple. And they didn't check for IDs either.
His father he was back and forth in jail, like he was locked up most of the time, and then he passed away.
Rest in peace to Simple Ada Park, that was the older me.
You don't get to see the part of him that's just like him.
August 9th, 1994, a king is born. His name is Davon, but the world would come to know him as King Von. Just like his father, he had the charm, the presence, the fire in his eyes that made people believe he was destined for something great. But in Chicago, greatness is a double-edged sword. It can lift you to heights unimaginable or pull you down into the very darkness you're trying to escape. From Killer Ward to O-Block, Von wasn't just another name in the mix. He was a product of his environment, molded by the same forces that once shaped his dad, Silk. But history has a cruel way of repeating itself. The streets that made them both would take them both. Von's story played out like his father's, step for step. Trouble found him young. Prison hardened him.
Today's date is October 26, 2016. It's approximately 21:50 hours. I am with detainee Bennett Davon. ID number 2014-060-8061. Is that your name and ID number, sir?
Davon Bennett, 2014-0608061.
What is your current living unit that you're assigned to?
2E.
Alright, there was an incident that occurred up there at 2034 hours with Division 9 staff. Do you care to tell me in your own words what happened up there?
There was a refusal. The inmate didn't want to come and sit with me. So the white shirt came. The white shirt came in the room, said go to the back. I told him I need to talk to him. Instead of talking, he just pushed me, got to punch him. Grabbed him by my hair, slammed him on the toilet. Other COs rushed in. They handcuffed me. They brought me downstairs.
Alright.
Do
you have any injuries?
So my hands too. They try to say I hit him or something. Got no marks on my hands.
Alright, is there anything more you care to add?
What?
Is there any more you care to add?
Ticket they charged me with. That's it.
That's not what this interview is about.
What's about it?
It's about getting information about the incident, not whether you're gonna get a disciplinary issue to you. Alright, that concludes this interview at this time. Sergeant Sheehan, star number 3234.
And when he returned, the world took notice. But this time, instead of the streets, music became his stage. The world loved King Von, his pain, his past, his presence. It all was in his music. Every lyric, every verse, a piece of a puzzle that painted a picture of survival, loyalty, and the inevitability of fate. But the thing about fate is that it doesn't forget. November 6th, 2020, Atlanta. Von wasn't in Chicago, but the past has no borders. The streets don't need a zip code to find you. And on that night, outside a hookah lounge, the cycle came full circle. Just like his father, he didn't get to grow old. Just like his father, he left a legacy behind. Just like his father, his story ended in gunfire.
Have been following all morning long. 2 men killed in an overnight shootout with Atlanta police and 2 groups of people. Joe Ripley has more as the GBI steps in to investigate.
Atlanta police say 2 people are dead after an officer-involved shooting here on Trinity Avenue in downtown.
As dawn turned to daylight, you could make out dozens of evidence markers. GBI crime scene investigators combing the scene.
Pretty active scene, pretty chaotic.
Atlanta police blocked off Trinity Avenue from Forsyth Street to Ted Turner Drive. They say just after 3 this morning, 2 groups got into a fight outside Club Monaco. 2 off-duty Atlanta police officers were nearby.
Police officers, once they noticed what was happening, attempted to intervene and to stop the situation, but it continued to escalate with them being there.
The arguing intensified, ended in gunfire with 2 dead, 1 in critical condition, and 2 people in stable condition. Atlanta police say the officers opened fire but were unharmed. They could not say who shot who.
You can be a block away from something like this going down, and that's a bit scary.
Caesar Marin called it concerning. The cyclist bikes around the area often, shocked now at the developments in downtown.
They're out here to protect us, and for officers that have to be in a shootout with people, it's scary for them.
It's not clear whether the officers were directly targeted. Police say no one is in custody. So far this year, the GBI has investigated 82 officer-involved shootings statewide, 11 involving Atlanta police, 4 of those deadly prior to today.
It makes you wonder, was this destiny? Was this the path written for them before they even took their first breath? And if so, can anyone truly escape fate? Silk was a legend. Vaughn was a legend. But legends don't just live in the past. They live in the stories people tell, in the memories they leave behind. Some people say God has a plan for all of us. A plan from the beginning to the very end. If that's true, only one can hope that the next generation finds a way to break the cycle before history writes itself again. Alright y'all, there y'all have it. That's the story of Walter Bennett, aka Silk, aka Ada Park Silk, King Von's father. Get in that comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think. You already know what it is. Drillers and trappers, we out here trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!